Hey everybody, Brad here again. In this video, I actually take the car out onto a nice big open stretch of highway and give the driver aids like the lane keep assist and the radar cruise control for a spin. So stick around if you want to see that, that'd be really cool. And as always, if you're interested in anything to do with my long-term Honda Clarity or any of the other crazy things that I own or work on, please throw me a subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And if you hit that notification bell, you'll get notified, obviously, if I throw up anything else that might be of interest. So please stick around, and I thank you, each and every one of you, for your viewership and your subscriptions. Thanks so much. Hey folks, Brad here. This time I'm testing out the lane keep assist and the radar cruise control on a secondary highway not far from where I live. That would usually be about 100 kilometers an hour speed limit, which is like 60, but because right now it's kind of under construction, it's got a lower limit, so that's why I drive a little slower. But let's just see what it is. Above 100 kilometers, or above 60 miles an hour, I'm not that interested in taking my hands completely off the wheel. But even then, at 80 or so, it's actually pretty decent, 50 miles an hour. It's wide open here, as you can see. Here, have a look. It's very, very wide road, very slow. And the only minor complaint is that it doesn't let me take my hands off the wheel for a terribly long time before it beeps at me and says steering required, which you should be able to see down there when it does it. So these little lines, if you can see, I'll try to zoom in a little better with the light here. You can see that those lines up there indicate the lane keep assist is on. You actually do it with these buttons here. And then the radar cruise control is you see the 81, that's actually what I've got it set at, the 81 right there. And then, as I've said before in a few other videos, the button here tells you, is the one that allows you the 4 positions for how close to the car in front of you want to get. Now, there's no one in front of me, so the little outline of the car there, if you can see it, I'll have to check when I get back to the house, indicates there's no car that it can see. So obviously it's just going to go what it says, but obviously if there's a car in front, pulls in front, etc., etc., it'll slow down and right to a stop too. I know a few folks have asked me about that, but yes, it does indeed go right to a stop. And if it stops for more than half a second or so, it actually says stopped. And in order for you to proceed, you either tap the gas or you just push the resume button on the steering wheel here, and it'll accelerate you up there. Although a little bit slow, so I tend to do it with my foot myself, but still it's nice that it'll do it. But now we're back up to a 45 mile an hour zone, sorry, 55 mile an hour zone, which is 90 kilometers. So I'll set it a little higher than that, cruise along. Again, super quiet in here. This is a nice road. It's asphalt, not concrete. It's in pretty good shape, so it's not particularly prone to generating a lot of road noise. Even though, again, I keep saying, hopefully not too much longer, but I do have the winters on this car with the steel rims, so that's about the least quiet tires and wheel combination you could probably have. So anyway, buzzing along here. Okay, now we're up to 100. That's cool. So I'll set it for 105. Let's call it. And yeah, see, it does a good job. It's keeping me between the lines. You can set how wide the lanes are. I haven't actually seen or tested that to see what effect that has, because this right now is keeping me pretty right in the middle. It does tend to ping pong a little if there's a little bit of that, wandering a little. Oh, there's one. So I'll touch the steering wheel and see if it corrects itself. Yeah, there we go. It's bringing itself back onto center. That's kind of cool. Not to the point where I'm willing to let my hands off and have a snooze, nor should I, because that's obviously not what it's intended for. Plus it shuts itself off when it says steering is required, so that means that you better be hanging onto the wheel or else you're going to drift off. Now there's the other component, which is the what do they call it? It'll actually intervene to keep you from going off the road. That's another system apparently that is not connected to the lane keep assist, although I'm sure it uses the same camera setup and all the rest. But that's the emergency lane, whatever thing that's called. I'll look it up, because that would make a much better video if I knew what the hell I was talking about. So here I am approaching a car. Excuse me, you'll see I'm coming up on this one. See, it senses it. It's going to slow me down, and it's going to match these guys' speed and keep me pretty close to it, about as close as you'd want to be when you're this close to the car in front of you. So I'll make a lane change, which you can because there's no one coming, and then it'll there it goes. It's accelerating for me already. So there you go, fascinating, but it's it works as expected. Sorry. So that's about as much as I can really elaborate on about the lane keep assist and everything else. Does a good job. You know, again, you can't let your hands off the wheel, you know, because again, it'll actually buzz you. But if I keep one hand on the wheel, obviously my eye's up, it does a decent job of keeping you there. You can feel it tug here and there. Like I'm not actively steering it, but my hand is there, so it just it'll just keep me, it'll keep from flashing up that steering is required warning. So anyway, that's that. This road is, we've got a little more to the less well kept. There's a few more ruts in this road, a little more road noise, also at 105 versus the 90 we were doing before. And then the 80 was even quieter, of course. But anyway, that's that for this one. Again, as always, folks, let me know what questions you have, what you think you want to see, etc., etc. I've now had this thing exactly, well, just coming up on 1 year. So again, a lot of miles on it. So let me know what you think. All right, folks, all the best.